Hey, Mark here. How you doing? I thought I would do my December vlog update. I just put some fuel in the old girl. So there's a few little things going on. It's due for its first proper MOT in Spain this year, which is its like annual roadworthiness test. But anyway, I'll tell you all about that and what I thought I'd do this time for a change. Rather than looking at my ugly old mug, I'm going to flip the camera around so you can actually see a bit of the scenery. It's not the best day today, but make a change to see a bit of Spain if you're not familiar with this part of the world, and Andalusia in general. So I'm going to flip the camera over now. I'm just going through a little town a couple of minutes from the marina where I live called Torreguariaro, if you know this part of the world. Anyway, let's flip it over. So, what's been going on in CL land then? Well, like I just mentioned, the car's due for its first proper, what they call it, the ITV here in Spain. It's the equivalent of its annual inspection. Last year it had its sort of first one, which was part of the registration, because it was a UK registered car originally, and then I brought it over to Spain and paid all the import duty and had a few little things done. So I had to change the lights, which was the biggest hurdle, trying to find a pair of headlights. I had to get one pair from northern Spain, or one side I should say from northern Spain, and the other side came from Germany. And I think I did all right on the pricing in the end. Actually only ended up paying a couple of €100 each side, so it wasn't the end of the world, because obviously new ones could be a fortune. So that was probably, apart from the actual tax, and there was a few other things which were like inspection fees and stuff like that. So the whole thing cost about $2,500 in the end, which seems crazy. You can buy a whole bloody car in England. I've seen CLs being advertised really cheap lately, actually, on the CL Facebook groups. People are selling them, like there was one on there for £1,000, which is just ridiculous, really. If I had the space, it would be tempted to buy one and just park it up and keep it for spares, but it seems a shame to do that to a car that obviously runs. So the inspection, now there's a few things I mentioned in my last vlog. I don't know if you saw that. There was this little knock. I think it's possibly a suspension ball joint again. I seem to spend half my life repairing suspension ball joints. But I think I said in that video when I talked about chassis parts and stuff like that, they're not things on the car which are breaking down or failing. You can't hold it against the car that's nearly 20 years old to need a little bit of maintenance for chassis stuff, because things like rubbers, they perish, obviously, hoses go in time, and all sorts of wear and tear items like that are obviously going to need changing after a certain amount of years. So now normally what I would do, I love this bit of road, by the way. Normally what I would do is I would go and see my mechanic and get all this stuff done. But I'm actually going to put it through the test, because I'm curious to see what they pick up and if the thing actually is an MOT failure item. Because it'd be keen to see what they pick up and how thorough they are on their inspections, and how all that kind of ties in. There is another thing, I think it's an accumulator on the back now. When I go over a bump, I mentioned this before as well, it seems like when the suspension overextends, it pings and something actually makes a knocking noise, and I should get that looked at really, but I only do relatively local miles at just cruising about around the urbanisation where I live normally, so I hardly go anywhere actually at the moment. I'm not doing the big trips, So I'm going to put it through the test. It's going to be its first kind of independent one, because last year's, like I said, was part of the initial inspection. So it cost me a lot more money because it was the first one that had to do all the documentation for importing and everything. So I've got to book that in. It's due, well, now really. And it also needs a service. I'm getting the message thing coming up now. I'm down to my last few hundred miles where it's telling me service B is due. And what I'm trying to do, I had such an expensive year this year. Oh, look, white van man wants to race me. Dear God, what is it with these people that think they're bloody all driving Ferraris, don't they? So I had quite an expensive year this year. Had new discs, new pads, new tyres, a couple of suspension ball joints done, and a few other bits and bobs. So kind of mentally I'm trying to put the service into next year, so that I get all the service and all the suspension done next year, just so my brain says, oh, all the stuff that was done in 2019, I kind of put that to one side, and all the other stuff is going to be in 2020. So I'll start the year off with a service and with some repairs and stuff, because you know, regardless of whether the Spanish authorities pass the car for the test, it needs that work done. So the worst thing that can happen is, because they give you, I think it's a few weeks to do a retest, so the worst thing that can happen is they fail the car, and then I get the work done and take it back and get it tested, and it needs oil and filter service, so hopefully that's not going to be too expensive. So that's it really, that's where I'm at with the car. Apart from that, touch wood, steering wheel, it's all running okay. Still love the car, not sure what else I would buy if I was going to buy something else, to be quite honest. I sort of really like this car really. And also, on another note, I've had quite a few people messaging me and putting stuff on the Facebook, on the YouTube channel, saying they've actually bought cars on the strength of watching this video. There's at least 3 or 4 people watching my channel, I should say. 3 or 4 people who've commented on that. So what I might do is I might just go through some of the questions that people have left on there and do like a Q&A video or something, just for a bit of fun. That's it really. A bit of the scenery for you this time. That huge mountain in front there, I'm looking at the video screen, it absolutely does not do that any justice whatsoever. That's 1,400 meters to the peak, and it's only a couple of miles away, but the video, the camera there, makes it look like it's, you know, 100 miles away. So there we are. I hope you're well, whatever you're up to, and enjoying your adventures in your CL. And as always, you know, post your comments and feedback and stuff. I love hearing what you guys are up to. And if there's anything that you want to know, let me know, and I'll try and answer that. And I'm just off to meet a mate of mine, a fellow muso, to have some brekkie and a catch up. So I'll catch you guys next time. I'm going to sign off now before I get stuck in some traffic. Okay guys, thanks for watching, all the best, and I'll catch up with you soon. Take care.